Good morning, everybody. It's Gwen with Crafty Lady Designs. I don't know what to call this. I don't know if this is going to be a craft with me or if it's just a little demo or a tutorial, then whatever. I've been meaning to do this for a while, so I don't know. We'll just play it by ears and see what happens. For a long, long time, and I travel and I eat out and all these things, have collected these coasters, the round coasters, the square coasters, whatever. I've always used them in my office, on my desk for my coffee and my tea and whatever. So the upshot is I ended up taking them and embellishing them and covering them and making ephemera for my books. Now, I used most all I had, so I have had a couple of really sweet servers, one at Outback Steakhouse, that literally gave me a whole stack of these. I was in there for lunch, and I always take the one that I have and whatever. And I said, could I have a few extra of these? Because I said, I use these for my crafting. She said, well, you can have whatever. She said, we have a ton of them. She came back with a stack about that thick of them. And then I went and had lunch at Olive Garden. I think it was Olive Garden. Yeah, Olive Garden. Um, and they used the round ones as well. And there again, I took the ones that there were two on the table. One, I was by myself, but they had a setup for two. And then I there again asked her if I could have a few, so she gave me a few extras. Not near as many as Outback, but it's okay because I'm sure they give me more. So the upshot is, I have made these. I've taken these and covered them and embellished them and whatever. And round seems to be kind of the in thing. I know of Wendy. I forget. I forget. I'm sorry, Wendy. She did some rounds not very long ago that I also made. I thought I had some here, but I guess I don't. So anyway, doesn't matter. Uh, I want to go through and I'll show you some of these, and then we're going to make a couple. And I hope you enjoy it. And I'm doing this kind of upside down. I am back over to my work area, so if you get a glimpse of my work table, don't be scared because it really is whatever. Usually, when I do my tutorials, I do them over in another area and just virtually do one thing or whatever. Well, I'm going to do it a little bit different today and see how we get along. The tape is for me, this is a new setup for me, and it is kind of upside down, but I think you can get an idea of what I'm doing. And this to kind of keep me located in the whatever in the proper area. Okay, let's get started. This is a square, and I've covered the back of it with coffee dyed paper. I've covered the front of it with Tim Holtz paper with the buggies and whatever. And then I bought these little metal tags. I think I don't know, either Hobby Lobby or whatever. And then I stamped. I got the Tim Holtz bug stamp, and this I love it. I've used it a lot. I got this stamp set, so I have stamped. Uh, I I think that's a B. I stamped the B. And this was just a cut off that I had, I don't know, off of something, and I just put that on there. I inked around the edges with my coffee archival ink, the back and the front. I put a grommet in and then just tied the little uh, tag, round tag, so it kind of moves around. So this you could put in your book. This is the same premise. I took the back of it is on coffee dyed paper. The front of it is Tim Holtz. Then I did some stenciling along the side, and then there again, this is a tag with a punch that I have. It punches both sides, and you can also punch the hole in. But I only punched the hole in one side. Took a and put a grommet in there. Put a grommet in the top, and then took a bulb pen or a garment pen and attach the tag, the loose tag. And then also, this may be Artie Mace, but I'm not real sure. Took a round, I think it's an inch and a half puncher, punched that flower out, uh, stained the edges. Now, before I did that, when I punched out the tag, then I put it on a book page and then covered it that way. So there's the second one. This one is there again. The back of it is book page. This is French, my French book. I'm using this a lot. This is a new book that I have, and I don't have it handy, but it's a floral type book. I really like it. I just got it, and I thought I had it over here, but I don't. I can't think of the name of it. I'll put it down below. Um, and this is just a piece of fabric, a piece of muslin that I tore and put on the back of a piece of coffee dye paper, and then I stamped it with a stamp that I have. I use this stamp a lot. It's just a stamp, and I stamped the fabric with it. This is a rusted safety pin, and I got this from Denise at Tattered Dream. This is a T card that I put on there again on the back of coffee dye paper. The T card is from Stacy, not Stacy, uh, Tracy Fox. I downloaded all of her T cards. I've downloaded a lot of Tracy's ephemera. And then there again, it's the back. So there's another one. Now this one is also, the back of it is also coffee dyed paper. The front of it I have covered with, I've got a piece of, just 1 minute. I bought this roll and it's fabric and it's like a duck or canvas type fabric. I covered the back of it with coffee dye paper. Then I covered the front of it with that fabric, the whole thing. Then I just bought and just received some fabric swatches per se uh, from, oh dear, I'll have to put that down below. I didn't keep, they're in here. I just got them. I saw these on Gales. Uh, oh, I can't think of the name of it. I'll put it down below. So it's just a fabric swatch that I tore. It's like a muslin, but it's printed with safety pins. And then I put a rusted safety pin. There again, it came from Denise's Tattered Dream. This came out of an Edith Holden book. It's a poem, just a little short poem. So there's another. So these are the square. I have several more. I have several over here with Timmy's paper dolls. Here's another T card of Tracy's. This is just one with the side. This is a fabric piece roll too that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I think I bought both of those at Hobby Lobby in the floral area, and this is just a black lace. Got it at Hobby Lobby, and this is some flat back pearls I've had for a long time. Here's another one with a tag that I've used a stamp on of Tim Holtz, just a small tag that I used Edith Holden paper, stamped it, and this is of course Tim Holtz's paper, and then the back there again is covered with coffee dyed paper. So there are the square ones. I'm going to set them aside so we have more room. I do have a lot of room. These are the round ones. These are the new ones that I've made with the round coasters. I just finished this one. Uh, oh, the bird is an Edith Holden. I cut out of her book. I took some. Um, oh dear, what is it? You know what it is. I'll remember it in a minute. This is a piece of muslin that I tore, a little piece of lace that I tore, and then the believe it comes from Tim Holtz's words. And then the back of it is just, I covered the back of it because see, this has print on both sides. I covered the back of it with a craft cardstock, 65-pound cardstock. And so there is one round. I just finished this one. A little bit of a glare. This one is there again. I covered the back of it with coffee dyed paper. I stamped on it with the stamp, and I had a little sliver of music that I just put on there sideways. And then the front of it is Tim Holtz paper base, and this is oh coffee dyed paper with some music paper that I put on, and then the numbers. And Nick the Booksmith calls these code numbers. Well, she used these numbers, and I just really like the looks of them. So I created a whole list, and it was real interesting how I did this. But I created a whole list of numbers and printed them out on coffee dyed paper, and then I just tear them apart or cut them apart. And then I put a grommet in with some Tim Holtz um, ribbon. So there's the second round one. I haven't made very many round ones. This is the third round one. This, the back of it is on oh book paper. The front of it is on. I have several of these little books, and they're a great size. I think they're 4 by 6. So that's the front of it is pulled out of the little book. Little glare. And then I have a piece of lace that is from one of my favorite. I've got this in black and beige and cream and white from Hobby Lobby. This is another one of Tracy's tea cards that I downloaded, and I've got it going up and down. I also put a small eyelet in here, grommet in here with a little piece of ribbon, and then a larger eyelet in the top with the same ribbon. So there is the third one, and this one is just kind of simple. You don't have to over embellish, in my opinion. Excuse me, and I have a tendency to do that. Excuse me. This is from my new floral book, and I do apologize. I will put this down below. I'm trying to see if I have it handy, and I really don't. So I just covered it with the floral book. Uh, there you can see it a little bit better. Put a grommet in the top, put a ribbon in it, and then also put another rusted safety pin, not yeah, safety pin from Denise's Tattered Dream. The back of it is also just covered with book page. I have an old French book that I bought a long time ago. I'm really using it a lot. So there are 4 of the round ones. So we're going to make a couple here. They're very simple. And as I say, you know, I also have, I thought I had one. Oh, I do. This one here is made from the coaster, like so. And then I took a 3-inch punch. I covered it with paper from one of these books. And then I took a 3-inch punch because these measure virtually 3 3/4. Um, I took a 3-inch punch and punched out the Edith Holden page, the birds, and put oh I still can't think of oh dear word in between, and then finished embellishing the top. So that's kind of a 2-layer, and then the back of it I just put on cardstock. So let's get into this nonsense. They're so much fun. They are kind of addictive, quite frankly. We're going to make a round one. I've taken a piece of paper out of one of the books. I'll show you again. They got all kinds of things in paper and on and on and on. And then I have another one here. So they're really just perfect for this because they're virtually, well, they're not pre-cut, but so what I would, and I use archival ink and coffee, and I use Fabri-Tac. I use Fabri-Tac. So the back of it's white, so we're going to turn it over. Now at this point, it doesn't matter, just turn it over and glue it down. Ooh, I got lokies. But they are kind of addictive. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. Now I have discovered on all these the hard way that you really need to kind of take your glue and rub off the edge. You want those edges sealed. Now it's a little harder with Fabri-Tac, but you can do it. And it makes your fingers sticky, and then you can peel off the glue. So I was watching, I forget who it was. Oh, I think it was Tracy. Said she really loved to peel glue off her finger. Well, I kind of do too, isn't it? So then I'm going to lay this on top, just like so. I'm going to get that glue from the outer edge. It's not going to make a big difference, but and then I'm going to take a brayer and brayer it just to make sure it's adhered and level and all those things. I need to put this back on my glue. Hope you can see me. I used to do Ustream shows, and I don't have a way to put the camera over my head. I just my crafting area isn't. I can't do that. I wish I could. So I always had it to the side, and then it was kind of hard to see at times. So I've done some other things like this, and it's worked out. So what we have, then I just take a pair of scissors. These are Martha Stewart scissors, and just cut it out. Just cut around the edge. It cuts out very nicely, quite frankly. Can you see? Just cut it out all the way around. I take a little sand when I'll show you here in a minute. Cut right up to the edge. Now there's some glue coming out. These are Martha Stewart scissors, and they'll be okay. I can clean them. And then I go back and make sure that that's sealed. And then I kind of look to see if I have cut all the paper off nicely, which I think I have. Oh, I'm up here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Then I'm going to take a sanding block. Now this is an old sanding block. They don't even make them anymore. But I just go over the edge like so. And then I'm going to cover the back. Set this aside. I have a piece of music paper here that I'm going to use for the back. Now this is directional, and this is directional, of course. And I am going to cover the back with the music paper. There again with the tacky glue. And do the same process and make sure you get the edges, even the square as well, because I found without making sure that glue is off the edge, they will come up, and you don't want that. You want them really glued down. So much fun. I tell you, I've got some books to finish, etc. Now let's see, as I said, this is directional, so I want to put this the right direction with the music. Put this down. I've been making so many. I've been watching Wendy journaling experience, or I forget her, and Tracy Fox, and I've just been making all this ephemera that I need to be working on my books. Okay, we have this glued down like so on the back of this music paper. And we're going to cover a lot of it. But then there again, we're going to cut this out all the way around. I appreciate all of my followers. Uh, and if you are a follower, thank you so much. If not, you can sign up. I would appreciate it very much. Give me a thumbs up if you can, and comment in the area down below. Any questions you may have, just certainly put it in the comments below, and I'll do my very best to answer them. But the books I've had a couple other tutorials. I did a let's see, that looks a little off, and it is. I did a tutorial on policy envelopes and the button and string closures. Okay, now I'll move this aside as well, and I'm going to take move this aside. I'm going to take our and as I say, I'm using archival ink in coffee, which I really like, and I like it because it's permanent. I'm going to age both sides, and I'm playing this by ear, quite frankly. I laid out supplies, but I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I kind of have an idea, but, and there again, you do not have to be over elaborate. Set that aside. I need to clean off my table a little bit. Okay. Cheesecloth. That's what it is. It's cheesecloth. So here's our music, and here is, there we go. Okay. I'm also going to use, let me see, what am I going to use? I don't know, I haven't gotten that far yet. This is going to be my front, the one with the pattern. It's going to be my front. That's just going to be my back. I am going now. I always tear the muslin simply because it always tears straight. Mother always said, and it does. I'm going to put a piece of muslin here. And I'm going to take my ink and I'm going to age that a little bit. I do have, and I don't know where it is, some coffee dyed muslin, and I do have some. I just don't know where it is. I'm going to put the muslin there. Now I have another, I have several of Tracy's Fox's tea cards. So I'm going to take another one. They're just darling. And I'm going to take, if I can find it. Oh, as I say, this is work in progress. I'm going to take some what do I do with it? Here it is. It's a dragonfly. I'm going to take the dragonfly. I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to put the dragonfly on a piece of craft cardstock. It's 65 pounds. I think I got it at Michael's. We have a Michael's and a Hobby Lobby. I could almost walk over there from where I live. I don't, but I almost could. So I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to leave just about a 1/16 of an inch edging around it. Like so. I'm going to have to straighten it up, I guess. Cut it out. They used to kind of tease me on YouTube, my followers. I got some of them doing this, quite frankly. I would always, usually, always, most of the time, put my things like this on chipboard because I like for it to have more body, and they would tease me about that, but they started doing it. Okay, then I'm going to also oh, I hope you can see what I'm doing and I'm in frame. If not, I apologize. So here we go. This is up. I'm going to put the oh, let me see. I'm going to put this here. I love the safety pins. I'm going to put him like this. Put him like that. I used to have, probably, who knows, oh, I won't be able to find it anymore. I had, here it is. Oh, this is linen thread by Stampin' Up. I was not affiliated with Stampin' Up. I just used a lot of their products. I'm going to glue this fabric down like so. And then I'm going to wrap this around my card like so, and I need a piece of tape to take that down on the back. Oop, come on. Up just a wee bit. So we've glued down the fabric. I've wrapped the linen. So here we are. There's the side. Okay, and then this is going to go on top here. You're going to barely see the fabric, quite frankly. I didn't do a real big. So we're going to glue this down. I'm going to smooth that out a little bit. Simply because okay, let's see. Okay, this is up. I know I'm gonna take this off a little bit so you can see more, and that's okay. So you can see more of the. Can you see more of the fabric? Okay. Now I am going to punch a hole with my crocodile, the large hole. I have to clean it out. That's the only thing. I've been to CHA a couple times, and I've had some. There's been some discussion about cleaning out that hole. It always seems to, and they were going to improve that, but I don't know that they did. So I'm going to do this as close to the middle as I can, about an eighth of an inch in, and I'm going to put in a grommet, and I'm going to secure the grommet. Then I'm going to take, let's see, well, I'm going to take some, scissors. Some seam binding, some cream colored seam binding. There's some white, well, kind of an off-white in the tea, and I'm going to run this through. Now this, I've always heard this was called a sparrow's beak. When you pull that through and make that like that, I certainly, I'm going to just put this aside and this aside, and there you have it. There you have it. There's the back with the music paper, and there is the little dragonfly, the fabric, the music, and then the pattern paper. So that, that's basically the premise on both. The mirror square around, and that would just make a really cute. You could slip this in. You could glue half of it on and make a tuck spot, or any way you want to do it. I'm gonna take my. Oh, here it is. I'm going to take this and go over my. Now, what I do as well, because some of these, when you run the sparrow's beak through here, they have a tendency to skip. I sometimes take just a dab, a drop, and then set it aside to dry, and that will keep your ribbon from pulling out. So there we are. There's the round one. We're going to make a square one. So much fun. And there again, the premise is still the same. Go visit Outback Steakhouse. They've been very generous. And she said, oh, no problem. Of course they do, my goodness. Have tons of them. Okay, let me see. What are we going to do with this one? I have no idea. But we'll figure something. Here's Tracy's little tea cards. I had them somewhere in a little deal. I think we're going to maybe use one of the kids. One of the kids, and I think we might use. See, I'm just playing this by ear, which is fun. Well, first of all, I want to cover the back of it, and I'm just going to use cardstock, craft cardstock. You use pattern paper. You can use, and then there again, just put glue all the way around the perimeter. I had more trouble with these square ones with the corners coming because I just didn't get them that, close. But I would go back. But just take your finger and just rub along the edge and make sure the edge is covered, or it's covered all the way to the edge. But I check them as well, because once you cut them off, sometimes, if they're not covered completely, I'll be picking glue off for a good while. And I'm just going to place this on the corner, edge to edge, simply because it's easier to cut out. My glue is seeping. Okay. I have got to give me another. I've got this new fabric. I'll have to put her. Lollapalooza or something like that website or Etsy shop. I think I watched Lolly. I don't know. Or Gail. Might have been Gail. It was Gail. And I apologize, Gail. I can't pronounce your last name. properly, and I'm picking glue off while that's kind of setting up. Okay, now we're going to cut this out. And I cut it square and then I round the corners. I haven't tried to sew around these because I think they're too thick. I may be wrong. So just go back and round the corners. And there you have it. And again, I'm going to take my little sanding block. They don't make these anymore. I have had to resort to other sanding blocks. I love these. Making Memories, I think, was the name of the company. I don't know. I used to get these from scrapadabadoo.com, which is still around, and she has, and I tried to see if she could get me some, and she said, no, they no longer make them. Okay, so there we have that. Now, I'm going to take the fabric. I do really believe that I got this in the, there again, you know, I'm always getting things, but in the flower area. Oh, I need to trim this off a little bit on the side. Make sure it's trimmed good and close. Then go back with your sanding block or paper or whatever you use. Okay, now we are going to glue this, and I use Fabri-Tac as well. I use Fabri-Tac 90% of the time, quite frankly. But to do this on the glue, I mean on the fabric, that's what it's for. Gwen, hello. Have any questions? As I say, these are so much fun, and I know most of you, I would assume, go out for lunch or dinner or whatever, and they use these as coasters for your drinks and on and on. And there again, ask them, say, I am a crafter. That's what I told the little gal. I said, she was so sweet. I said, can I have, I said, you got any extra of these? She said, oh my gosh, yes. And I said, well, I'm a crafter, and I used them for crafting because I used the ones I had. I used the ones that I physically had that I used at my table. And there again, I've used them for years, and I had several. Um, and she was kind enough to bring me a whole pack. Now, I'm just going to lay this. Now, this phrase, I'm not going to, well, I'm not now. I couldn't decide. This phrase nicely. You can certainly fray it. Of course, I'll cut it out like I did the other things. I love the fabric ones. And you can use fabric. I'm going to use some of this new ribbon fabric that I bought. Lollapalooza, I think. I don't know. I got to get some of this off so I can work. Okay. So then you put that on there, and I'm going to use the brayer to make sure a little of the glue might come through, but not much. It's okay. And then you cut this out just the same as you did the others. Ooh, I better put this up. See, oh, I hope you can see what I'm doing, and I'm explaining it well enough. Put the glue up because it's seeping. Now we're going to set this aside. If you'd see my desk, I'm a messy crafter, it seems like. I'm going to cut this out as well. Cut as close as I can. The fabric is just a little different, especially this that's frays. Really does fray. But that's okay. I think one of them I showed you was with this, and it's just a roll of fabric that's just narrow, quite frankly. It's like a canvas. Now, if you can fray, but you don't, if you fray it too much, it pulls away from the, see, it pulls away from that. I'm not that crazy about that. Never done a craft with me like Gail, or I don't know. That might be kind of fun sometime. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. Okay, there we are. Now I'm going to also do the same. I'm going to take my and I'm going to distress this on the fabric side. It's going to fray a little bit for a while, but then it'll quit. And then I'm going to turn it over and do it on the back where we did the okay. I like it frayed. But see, then it starts fraying up into the, so you got to be a little careful. I don't want to fray it anymore. And then you can kind of cut some of them off. Okay. Messy. It's messy. Okay, there we have it. There's the front with the fabric, and there's the back with just the cardstock. I am going to take, this is my new fabric swatches, and oh, they're lovely. They're just, and I'll put them down below. I'm sure, Gail, I'm just sure I saw these on Gail's. I'm going to use this one here, and I'm going to use it on top of this. Now this is directional, so I've got to be careful. This isn't yet, but it's going to be. And it tears. We love to tear, or I do. My mother was a seamstress. I mean, big time, major. She made wedding clothes and on and on and on. And she would buy, you know, this dates me, oh my. She would buy at J.C. Penney material that was a border print that was used in making pillowcases. And she would buy so many yards of it and whatever. And I'm going to make this edge to edge like so. Let's see, it's like this. And then she would measure it out, and then she would tear it. And I asked her one day when I was a kid, she said, "Oh, always tear." Well, you got to do your snip straight, but always tear straight. It tears along the weave lines or whatever, and it does. It really does. I'm really, sometimes when people have never seen that, they think, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" Well, we're tearing fabric. Now I'm gluing this down, and I'm going to with Fabri-Tac, of course, but this I'm going to try to be sparing because, and I'm going to rub it out because this is finer material, and I don't really want it seeping through if I can help it. So I'm going to rub that out. Now there again, this is directional. So after we get this on here, then we need to be mindful that what else we do And it's over the edge a little bit, but that's okay. That's the way I want it. That down the middle. I am going to take one of Tim's paper dolls. They are so cute. I need my. Here's here's twins, two little girls. I'm going to, just do the edges and kind of go on top a little bit to kind of, you can go through. He had a tutorial, gosh, a long time ago where you can take, let me see, I might put something under that one. He had a tutorial on painting with, I'm going to use these scissors. I love these scissors. I love these scissors. I've had them for years. I'm going to cut this down. And then I'm going to go around the edge as well. I'll put this on top. It's the music paper. I'm sorry, I'm working over here and out of frame. I apologize. I took that music paper that we used a little bit ago and just cut off a piece, and I used these, and I'm going to put it along the side. Then I'm going to put the girls on top. Put the girls on top. You just layer. You just layer. You start and you layer. Oops. I need some more over here, I think. Kind of spraddle the twins here. Can you see what I'm doing? They're in a field of music. They're so cute. So there we have, I'm not finished, but we have the duck type ribbon fabric. We have this fabric. We have the paper dolls. I'm not finished. I'm going to put a grommet in the corner. I have a thing for grommets. Oh. Oh. Yeah. No, I'm not going to put that gold one. I want kind of this brassy colored. It kind of matches the coffee dyed stain on the music paper, and I'm going to set the grommet. Oh. Now you could put ribbon in here. I do have, this is what she tied them. Let's see, where is it? Or I've got this. No, I'm lucky. This is what she tied them together with. Let me try to run this through. You can go and go and go and whatever. Yeah. There again, this is called, you fold it in half, and I run it through the front. Some people runs it through the back. Doesn't matter. It's called I don't know where I saw that a long time ago. That it was called. Put it here on the corner, and this is the fabric that she I'm using. It's okay. You could tear the. It's hard to tear them if it's real shallow, but you can try to whatever. So there I did. Okay, so there we have it. There is the square one, and virtually they're made the same. Now you can journal on the back because a lot of them I used copy dyed paper. So unless you completely attach them, you can certainly uh, uh, journal on the back. You could journal on the back of this one. This one's got the music paper. So there's the round one we made, and there's the square one that we made. I think they're fun. I think they're addictive, and that's okay. I have, to use these in the books. There again, you could. I'll put this one down here like so. This one, you could. Trying to get these so you can see them. You could glue them down. You could glue one side. You could glue three sides and make a pocket, a tuck spot, whatever you need to do with them. I just think, and there again, it seems like lately they're using a lot of round circle. They've all, now they've got I do a lot of ATC exchanges. Now they're doing the circle ATCs, round ATCs. Haven't done that yet. Oh, I don't know about that. I like the ATCs, and I've always done swaps in that. But I do like the round ephemera. So keep in mind we have the Outback Steakhouse in the square, and then we have the Olive Garden in the round. But you can, everywhere you go, I eat everywhere. They provide these. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please ask me down below. I'm just more than happy to answer your questions. My name is Gwen. I do have, I'm going to have this, of course, on YouTube, but I do have, uh, uh, it's like an Etsy, but it's not. It's capturedonpaper.com. I'll put that down below because I do make junk journals, and I do have several on there for sale. In fact, I got a new one I'm working on that, quite frankly, I should be working on instead of, but this is fun. And if you have any questions, if you're following me, thank you so much. I have, I've reached a plateau that I would love to do a giveaway, and I just, quite frankly, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to compile, and I think you really, you would have to, certainly in my opinion, like everybody else, of course, be a follower. But I'll try to figure that out or have somebody help me because I would like to do a giveaway. There again, my name is Gwen. Give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And if you are a new follower, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, let me know. And again, I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.